Hello and welcome to my presentation from collaboration to better support on IBM C systems. I had to change the name of IBM C to IBM C systems because IBM has changed the name of their systems in this direction. I am Sarah Julia Kriesch and I am an openSUSE member contributing via the Open Mainframe Project to the S390 export of openSUSE, and then I am also working for Accenture as a consultant. Firstly, I want to give you a small overview about the agenda. I will give you an introduction about myself. Then we are coming to the topic of the Open Mainframe Project. What is that? What is a mainframe? Because some of you perhaps don't know that. Then we will come to the topic, the Linux distribution working group, the reasons and our history. From that, we are coming to the topics, improvements within the working group, and our goal to achieve better support with collaboration, and why. Here you can see myself. I am Sarah Julia Kriesch, and I am one of the founders, and with that also one of the leaders of the Linux distribution working group. You can see my email address from openSUSE here because I'm contributing there as a representative via openSUSE. And besides of me, there is also Elisabeth from IBM, who is one of the founders and the leaders. So I'm not alone in this case. But firstly, something about myself. I'm an openSUSE contributor since around 10 years, and since last year, I'm also a member of the release engineering team, and I'm responsible for the S390 export. I am also the team lead for S390X at openSUSE, and I don't have got only one task where I am doing all what is related to S390X. Therefore, I am doing packaging, I am doing testing for QA, I am doing development stuff, I am doing enablement stuff, I am responsible for the communication to IBM, I am responsible for the communication to SUSE for development stuff for SLES and openSUSE Leap. I am doing all in this direction. What is happening? I have written my bachelor thesis at IBM in the Linux on C department about Kubernetes on IBM C and Linux One. And now I am a DevOps consultant and open source contributor at Accenture. Yes, I am receiving also some working time for open source contributing with S390X specific stuff there. Additionally, in my free time, I am one of the founders of the Linux distribution working group. From that, we are coming to mainframes. On the right side, you can see the latest mainframe type of IBM. That is a C16 and only some weeks old. But anyways, mainframes exist since a long time, and they are large, high-performance computing systems. Many people are calling them also big endians. If you're finding any issues or bugs you are receiving really often not supported for big endians, that means that this software has to be enabled for the S390X architecture, which is the architecture for IBM C and Linux One. These systems are also used for mission-critical data. Mainframe customers are mostly banks, insurances, or automotive manufacturers. Therefore, you can find such systems everywhere in this area. There's also an additional benefit of mainframes. You can run thousands of VMs on such a system. That makes it more and really interesting, and has been also a reason to choose this area for me. From that, we are coming to the Open Mainframe Project. The Open Mainframe Project is a project under the Linux Foundation now, and it has been founded in the year 2015 by IBM. The focal point was the usage for deployment and usage of Linux and open source in a mainframe computing environment. Today, that is not only the focal point, it is also used for open source projects for the usage on COS and everything else. That is coming now. The focus with sub-projects have got a mainframe centric approach. Therefore, all these projects and sub-projects are mainframe centric projects. SUSE is a framework for administrative development, test, and operations tasks on COS. ADE, as an example, is an anomaly detection engine for Linux logs. So it can detect anomalous times, slices, and messages. Atom is a language syntax highlighting for CVM. Yes, there is also CVM available besides KVM. That is a virtual machine developed by IBM for the mainframe. Ambitious is a project, and it should foster a community that will help educate developers about all open source technologies on COS and Linux on C. Therefore, that is more a project with an education focus. Zoro has got also a COS focus. That is a COS open repository for workflows with a focus on COSMF workflows. Phylon should be an open source CVM cloud connector project. Therefore, it should be possible to connect CVMs with the public cloud. Tessia is responsible for starting CVMs faster. I know it from inside from IBM, as it was not commercial, that we have used it for automated starting of CVMs, and now it is also open source. Then there is the software discovery tool. And what is really new is Geneva ERS. Geneva ERS is a single path optimization engine for data extraction and transformation. Additionally, besides of these software and education focused projects, there is also a mentorship project with the Open Mainframe Project available. So you can take part of a mentorship with any of these projects, and you can learn how to contribute to open source projects that is equal to the Google Summer of Code or the outreach program by the Linux Foundation. SUSE is also contributing there, so you can also join via a mentorship program to such projects. Then the COBOL programming course exists as a project. So you can learn COBOL for free via such COBOL programming courses. Yes, from that we are coming to our working groups. There is also a COBOL working group available in this direction. So there isn't only the programming course available, you can have also an exchange between others about COBOL in this case. Then there is a working group for openSUSE enablement, and since last year, November, there exists also the Linux distribution working group. The Linux distribution working group has got some goals. We want to create a place to collaborate across Linux distributions via an Open Mainframe Project mailing list, wiki, and chat. Yes, Elisabeth and I, we have met us last year after the IBM C Day and said we want to found a Linux distribution working group to collaborate between Linux distributions and that we can achieve a better support for all of us. Elisabeth is also contributing to Ubuntu. I am an openSUSE member, and we have created a friendship. On this way, we have created such goals then. The second goal is to provide a space for Linux distributions to request for help on their port. In the last year was not so nice for community Linux distributions. We have been handled separately, and with collaboration, we wanted to achieve that we can provide better support for all. Then we had the goal to ensure any and all infrastructure required should be available for supporting the ports. Elisabeth is responsible for providing this infrastructure for all Linux distributions. I want to say also thank you to SUSE that you are sharing your mainframes with us. openSUSE and SUSE are developing together on the SUSE mainframes for building and testing the stuff. But additionally, we have also requested some VMs in the Linux One open source software community cloud that we can build and develop also on C systems. On this way, with this as a goal, we ensure that we can keep this behavior. And the last point is that we want to have a better support for IBM to fix S390X specific bugs. That was one goal from my side, and I can say, yes, it has been really improved on this way. If you are interested for these goals and what we have achieved in this direction on the exact path, you can watch to our wiki page on openmainframeproject.org with the Linux distribution working group. There is a whole list of our Linux distributions and also our list of meetings and what we have achieved until now. In the first step, Elisabeth and I, we came together and said we want to found this Linux distribution working group to provide better support. We wanted to have that for all Linux distributions. Therefore, in my case, I have been reached out to Fedora on their S390X mailing list. Elisabeth did the same with Debian. And on this way, we have received both representatives, Dan Horak for Fedora and Rajendra Nayak for Debian for our idea. But anyways, we said we want to found it together with community distributions because we have been mostly affected, but we have received a great expansion. SUSE has joined us from beginning because SUSE is also the sponsor of this working group with Mark Post as a representative. Then Ubuntu has joined us because they had also issues and they are the second enterprise distribution now in this working group. Afterwards, Alpine Linux has joined. They had some maintainers inside of IBM, but had reached out to us for some help. And in the last month, also Rocky Linux and Alma Linux have created their S390 exports. On this way, we are expanding and expanding, and we are open for all Linux distributions now. We had some reasons for this working group. As I told you, IBM had handled us and every Linux distribution separately. IBM had for every Linux enterprise Linux distribution separate kernel and developers. All has been prioritized inside, and yes, we community distributions have run into the same issues then, and that has been kept on this way. Additionally, I have also worked a little bit inside of IBM and have received some insight. One thing I didn't like was that we were also called competitors. So my goal with this working group was then to achieve a better collaboration and equality. Every Linux distribution has got the same issues. Why shouldn't we share our knowledge? On this way, we can achieve a better collaboration and equality for all. Here is the C Linux collaboration, which has been valid last year and a little bit also this year. On top, we have got the enterprise distributions. IBM is supporting officially only these ones, Red Hat, SUSE, and Ubuntu. But everybody of you knows Red Hat has got Fedora as the daughter project, SUSE has got openSUSE as the daughter project, and Ubuntu is based on Debian. In this way, we have got a close relationship between Fedora and Red Hat, and also a close collaboration between SUSE and openSUSE. Yes, we are working close together since last year. We have got a binary compatibility, so SUSE is using the same packages for SLES, the same as SUSE for openSUSE Leap. On this way, we are working really close together. Community distributions are contributing also to the upstream development, and the enterprise distributions are contributing via the community distributions to the upstream project. Examples are the GNU logo for the GNU tools, then the KVM logo for the kernel-based virtual machine, then the Penguin for the Linux kernel, and the GitHub logo, because there are so many software projects on GitHub which are related to our Linux distributions that you cannot list it all here for the upstream development. All are contributing to this upstream development, so you can share it also and distribute it to all community distributions. On this way, we have got also a relationship between the community distributions. So we have got in the middle also relationships for cross-community collaboration and cross-community members. There are some people in the community distributions who are active in multiple Linux distributions. Why shouldn't you contribute to multiple Linux distributions if you can you are working on the same software or you want to improve all of them? From that, we are coming to an example bug or issue what has happened everywhere in the communities and what has happened in the last year with the communication with the compiler team via openSUSE. We have reported at LVM upstream this bug report about PostgreSQL in the last year because the compiler has prevented the build of PostgreSQL for all versions. And we have received the statement, we do not fix that should be fixed by application communities. I and our developers, we thought, okay, that is an LLVM issue and that should be fixed by the application community, by PostgreSQL. Interesting. I had my connections inside of IBM, and when I asked the product owner in the toolchain and compiler team then, the statement was then, that is a temporary problem that will be self-healing if all distribution will build with C13. I thought, okay, self-healing? SUSE has got a higher version of a C system than C13. What is the problem here? If that should be a self-healing, if we are using a C13, if we have got a later version of the mainframe. I had a closer communication with him then and have received the hint with Google search and some keywords that there is a non-accepted patch from Red Hat and we should use it, and that was the problem solution. We have integrated this patch into openSUSE, but I knew our Linux distributions will have got the same problem because LLVM is a compiler. If that is not fixed there, all Linux distributions are using the same version anytime. This problem will happen everywhere. And what has happened this year? Debian and Ubuntu came to us into the Linux distribution working group with exactly this bug, and they had the same issue. I provided this solution then, and yes, that is an example situation where I have said, okay, we need a solution and a better collaboration between all Linux distributions. With that, I told you we are sharing our knowledge, but that is not all. We have got many improvements in the support process now. We have got monthly meetings with all interested Linux distributions. Yes, we are open for all now. And we have got representatives from all important Linux distributions available. On this way, we provide support between the Linux distributions for well-known bugs. And if anybody cannot build something, there is anybody in this group who is providing a workaround or the best solution as possible. Yes, also a distinguished engineer and the open source CTO from IBM are available in this meeting. On this way, we are receiving also reviews from top engineers with S390X knowledge, and we have got discussions about the problems and how to fix it. We are receiving feedback, we can improve things together, and on this way, if anything does not work, our topics will be forwarded and are receiving higher prioritization if that is really important. If there are no human resources within IBM for bugs available, the distinguished engineer Ulrich Weigand will interact for himself. On this way, we have created a knowledge sharing between IBM and all Linux distributions. When we are coming to the topic hardware sponsoring by IBM, IBM is sponsoring virtual machines on Linux One systems. If you are a single open source contributor, you can receive free access for 120 days in the Linux One community cloud, when you can choose between SLES, RHEL, and Ubuntu, and you can refresh that every time. That is not the single possibility. There's also a long-term access for open source projects available. Therefore, if you are interested to receive multiple virtual machines for a team or for longer time, you can contact Elisabeth, who is the representative for IBM and the second leader of our Linux distribution working group. These systems are in the Linux One open source software community cloud van. And in our case, we have got 7 VMs for our team distributed to multiple people, and we can use it for development stuff. Because of the binary compatibility of SLES and openSUSE, thanks to SUSE for that, we can upgrade our systems from SLES to openSUSE Tumbleweed. On this way, we are the single community Linux distribution in the Linux One open source software community cloud now. What can we see with collaboration as a benefit for all? Yes, my goal was to achieve better support with collaboration. Every Linux distribution had the same problem, and on this way, our upstream contributions are available for all. That is lowering also research and development costs. That counts not only at IBM, that is also for the community. We are sharing our knowledge. We have got the same solution then in every Linux distribution, and that is lowering also the development costs, and we have got time for new things. We are sharing our knowledge between the communities, and on this way we have got the same level of knowledge. In the last session, we had also an innovation and idea session. You can increase the innovation if you have got the time and no issues anymore. On this way, you are receiving diverse community ideas. And you can accelerate the Linux development for S390X then. You have heard that we have improved this support, but what are also the results of open cross-community collaboration? You can see we have achieved a better performance. We have got a cooperative behavior, one approach for all. And with that, we are collaborating, we are friends, we have got the goal, better support, better solutions. We are sharing our work and solution. That is also is containing also openness to other, and we are working together. If you are watching to the multiple Linux distributions on the market, you can see also a heterogeneity of participants. We are living everywhere on the world. We are contributing to different Linux distributions. On this way, that is also a little bit life-giving because we are working together on the maintenance. I call that also a cooperation as interaction. We are working together and achieving that all Linux distributions are working on the mainframe. We are coming from multiple Linux distributions. That is also a little bit a diversity impact then. From that, we are coming to the topic inclusion. We don't exclude any Linux distribution, and on this way, we are bringing communities and companies together. Yes, we have got SUSE available, we have got IBM available, we have got Canonical available at the moment. If we are working together, we can collaborate together with communities and the companies. We don't exclude any Linux distribution. Everybody who has got questions can join. Yes, we have started with the community distributions, but also enterprise distributions can join. If any Linux distribution is creating a new port for S390X, they can join. We are open for all. On this way, we are creating the open source diversity within this Linux distribution working group. We are receiving more ideas how to improve if more are joining on this way. We are receiving review from others. We are receiving the best feedback also from IBM, and our ideas can have an impact. And on this way, also better support is possible. Then we are coming to the Q&A session.